Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to weird things that only exist in Canada. Now, every country's got, its weird little quirks. Here in the UK, we love a sauce called brown sauce. And I recently discovered that brown sauce is just a UK thing. Like, it doesn't really exist in America or anywhere else, I think. When we're saying hello to each other, we'll say, all right, mate. And mate, I don't think is used in America or Canada. So there's, every country's going to have its own little quirks. And, Canada's somewhere that I really, I've said this like a few times now, but I really want to go now. Like, I've heard it's, so much fun. Like, the food I've heard is amazing. Toronto, Quebec, Vancouver, I'd really want to go this year. And, why not watch a video to kind of get me ready for some of the oddities of the place.
This might be my chance, my opportunity to get triggered by something trivial online, and I'm really excited. I am extremely Canadian. I was born and raised in southern Alberta. It sounds like a hockey player on a tractor. Southern Alberta, And I've lived on the West Coast and the East Coast, and I'm multicultural, which is like, melting pot, Canada. I'm as Canadian as it gets. And I want to know if these stereotypes pertain to me, and if they're true, and if they are, I'll definitely let you know about that. This is an intense moment in Toronto. The tensions between the protesters and the cops, very intense. I love how he poked holes in his water bottle. He's using the only weapon that he should be using.
Man, I'm trying to pick up the differences between the Canadian and like a kind of standard Pacific Northwest American accent. Apart from the word a boot, there's really not that many differences. I'm trying to...
His water bottle, and he's getting sprayed in the face. I love Canada, I really do. Wait, are you trying to tell me right now that you guys didn't have Dunkaroos? There's no way you guys didn't have Dunkaroos. That's impossible. I'm like scared. Are Dunkaroos a Canadian thing? I'm scared. If they're a Canadian thing, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's just really sad. Maybe just cinnamon graham is a Canadian thing, but I really genuinely hope that you guys aren't growing up and not eating Dunkaroos. As for Ruffles poutine, never seen it. Ketchup chips are a thing here, and we do like them here. I hate them, but a lot of people like them. Terry, do you like ketchup chips? Terry loves ketchup chips. They don't actually taste like ketchup. They just kind of do, in a good way. Like, they're not horrible. And I think that if they were in most countries, you would like them. Bags of milk, very common in Ontario, but it wasn't.
Beg. We would say bag. Beg. Almost like saying the word beg. Like I'm gonna beg someone to take me to the store.
Common where I grew up. If you ask people here why bagged milk is a thing, they get offended and they're like, what do you mean? That's like how it should be. And they get kind of defensive about it. So beaver tails, I don't know what these are, but like I hear about them a lot because I live here. There's not much of an appeal to me. I prefer crepes, yeah. You like them? No, they look gross. They look like too much. Like, that's a lot of Nutella. I just can't.
It is a lot of
too much for
Nutella.
me. I'm a simple woman, okay? Every time I have a package that I'm sending to somebody who's not a native to Canada, I send them one of these, a coffee crisp. And if you've never had one before, I'm so genuinely sorry because this is the best chocolate bar of all time. Although it's like up there with Twix, but I would say it's better. And it tastes like coffee, and it's good. And it's like a nice light, like, oh, I wish I had one right now. Canada is a country of weather contrasts. This is true to an extent. It'll rain and then snow and then be sunny and warm in the same day, but that's like more the exception and not the rule. They obviously either like shoveled the snow. Actually, they didn't. This is like fresh snow here. So what probably happened...
Ain't no way. This has to be faked somehow. There's no way. They must have moved the snow. But there's snow on the table and the chairs. There's no way. Is this real? Is this real? Is this even possible, Canadians?
Is like the sun melted the snow here, but it's probably still really cold outside. Like, this guy's just doing this for the picture. Here's another piece of proof. We are living in 3 seasons at once right now. There's like the trees with the grass, like green grass over here. This kind of looks like a transition between fall and winter. I don't see summer or spring. I see spring here. I don't know what to do. Yeah, I mean, sure, I'll give you that. Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau doesn't feel shy about showing his outstanding socks. Yeah, we have a hot Prime Minister. So what? He wears cool socks. So what? He's a nice guy.
I've heard there's a lot of people and a growing amount that don't really like Trudeau right now. Like, what's the public's sentiment towards Trudeau at the moment? Is it positive, negative?
I love socks. Oh, wow. The whole internet was like crapping their pants about it. They were like, oh, Star Wars socks, how cool. But they bother me because they don't match, but whatever. We love these Canadian socks right here. Is there anything more important than going to classes? Hockey is. This is true. This is true. Wow. Yeah, true. guilty as charged. And actually,
So
my high
hockey
school
is
that I went
life
to, like, there were a lot of like
Canada.
hockey players who went pro. My school was like a farm school for them, and it was pretty fun for me. Is that just like me saying I'm a slut? Canada is not just about the maple syrup. We also have maple water. This is actually true. And if you've never tried maple water, it is delicious, and you should have it. Apple juice is
Maple
fun.
water.
Orange juice is fun. Water with like a slight taste of maple sap is delicious, and I highly recommend you try it. Isn't it good?
It feels like there's maple in every kind of food. You can find every food with the maple version in Canada. At least that's what it sounds like to me. Like, I've heard there's like maple pizza.
I haven't tried it, I just have it at home. Maple water is so Canadian that my friend here has it in her fridge, but hasn't tried it yet. You gotta have it just in case. Bacon ketchup. Where the country meets the mountains, I would say that I've never tried that. Sounds gross, but I'd try it. It's got that
I
like
would- I
hot
think that'd
moose
be
on
good.
it. I can never say no to a hot moose. In Canada, there are clocks where the time is represented by birds. In this case, it's almost song sparrow o'clock. I've never seen this in my entire life. This is like some kind of nerd stuff that I've never heard of. We don't do nerd stuff where I'm from.
Imagine you're staying at your buddy's house. That's the only clock in the house. You've got an interview the next day and you're like, what time is it, Bill?
We drink beer in a ditch and pretend it's
Tell me in
Canada, where I'm
English.
from. Warning, invincible moose. He will crack your tractor in half. Moose? I wanted to call them meese. Mooses are big. Mooses are strong. Mooses are very Canadian. Big, strong Canadians. I bet he would apologize after. And I don't like how people make fun of Canada for like always apologizing, because like it's rude to not apologize. If you bump into someone, you don't say, oh, excuse me. You say, oh, sorry. Like, right? If you don't say sorry, then I think that's very rude. Please do not flush tampons, pads, diapers, poultry, old love letters, promises, ashes of unloved ones, babies, alligators, baby alligators, dead goldfish, hopes and dreams. Thank you. We had this sign at my high school so that we wouldn't flush our hopes and dreams. Canadian deer using crosswalks when crossing the road. I think that that's just an accident. Vandalism in Canada comes
Yeah,
with a
purely.
tinge of proper etiquette. Sorry about your wall. You should apologize about the wall. Although, is this like really Canada? Do we know this? Has there been like some research done to verify this? I believe it, but like, I'm trying to be skeptical because all of these so far have been like pretty accurate. They're even sorry about selling limited editions. Sorry, only for a limited time. That makes sense.
I feel like Canadians may apologize just as much, if not slightly more, than Brits do. Like here in England, if you walk past someone and you just brush the tip of their shoulder, you're like, oh, sorry, mate. Like literally, it's the funniest thing.
What's wrong with that? Why is that unique? Why is that different? Why is it bad to be mindful of other people's emotions?
Good
It's kind of
point.
like how I say like or like hey. Like I'm always like, hey, it's pretty nice out here, eh? It's a very inclusive thing to say, and that's why I say it. Otherwise, it's nice today, ... Unless, like I don't want it to get weird, you know? Just want to be like, hey, yeah. Eh? Snowing, not an issue. Nothing can stop people from learning. This guy is wearing shorts and a t-shirt in a snowstorm.
You cannot tell me he's not freezing, man. Like listen. I can withstand a bit of cold, but this is just next level.
And I will say I did that growing up. It would be like negative 40 degrees Celsius, and I'd be wearing like a little windbreaker and like
Ain't no way.
shorts and walking to
Minus
school. I don't know why
40.
I was so opposed to like wearing winter apparel. And then I went to Singapore where it's like hot year round, and they were wearing like Canada Goose jackets, and I was like, what? There's like a
How?
really funny picture in Vancouver where it snowed one day. It like doesn't snow in Vancouver very often, where this guy's like screaming and running with an ice cream cone. I can't find that photo. And if you in the comments can find it, please show it to me. Canadians are well aware of their priorities. Whatever, just wash your hands. Anyone can come in, just wash your hands, okay? I like that, just wash them. While Canadian policemen are always there.
Oh wow.
Canadian policemen are always there to help you.
No
They're
way.
really nice. Changing your tire for you, making sure you get out okay. Oh, there's a cop buying from a lemonade stand. I feel like if this lemonade stand was in America, the cop would be like, do you have a permit? And in Canada,
I genuinely remember a story about the police turning up because somebody in the building called the police because she didn't have a permit. Like it was a kid selling lemonade. It was just crazy. I know that not everywhere in America that would happen, but isn't that wild?
Canada, he's just like, oh yeah, ooh, 25 cents for sure. Although I heard kids now are like charging $1 for their lemonade stands.
$1
and I
for
think that
lemonade?
That's a ripoff. Again, you should move here. It's really good here. Nature in Canada is the best makeup artist. Indeed it is. Whenever I would walk to school in high school in the winter, my hair would like often look like this, but only if you leave the house with wet hair. Sometimes I would cry while walking to school because like the wind was so strong it would make my eyes water, and then my tears would freeze onto my face.
Jeez.
That was fun. While street signs are Dino friendly, I've never seen this in my life. I reject this. I don't believe that this is a part of Canadian culture. I am triggered, I'm offended, I am reporting this to HR. Hail in Canada can reach enormous size.
My God, could you imagine this hits you on the head? Like, dude, this is crazy. This is like a rock, pretty much. Like falling at 120 miles an hour, and it's just on.
It can. Does it not anywhere else? No one else has like golf ball hail? I will say it's like really rare, but like it happens. There was a hailstorm like an hour north of where I lived, and like the hails were like this big, and they were like breaking people's windows and stuff, and that was really scary. Thankfully it skipped my town. What are they feeding their dog? That is a really big dog. Is that like a Doberman or what? Oh, I'd rather have a big dog like this. I can stop calling him a dog.
Is that a moose or a caribou? I think it's just a moose, isn't it? Just a normal moose.
I'd rather have like a moose than a dog, because my dog is like too small. Winters in Canada are harsh. I don't know why. Why not just like plow it to the side? As a Canadian, I can't tell you what this guy's doing. Warning signs are loud. You can use your broom. You can fly on your broom, but you can't use your unicycle with training wheels because it's really slippery and you will fall and you will die. Stereotypes about Canada that many Americans believe. Canadians are polite. They are. And in fact, every time I'm in the United States and I'm like, thank you, and they're like, I find that to be very rude. Very rude. Like, it's so hard to say you're welcome. Like the Like, it just seems awful, but I don't judge. I'm Canadian. Canadians love maple syrup.
I agree, man. I agree. Manners maketh the man.
We do. It's delicious. Why wouldn't you? Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? You need to go to Tim Hortons and get a maple donut if you know what you're doing. Canadians are crazy about hockey. Of course. Duh. I mean, these are stereotypes, but these are true. It hurts when a stereotype is true. Canadians live in a land of ice and snow. It depends where you are, but typically yes. Canadians love Tim Hortons. This is like our donut shop, okay? And we love it. Canadians drink a lot of beer. We do. We do.
More beer than Americans? I've heard the beer's stronger in Canada. Like, because it's stronger, surely you can't drink as much because then you'd just get more drunk, wouldn't you? Or like, how many beers would you have, Canadian viewer, if you're there on a night out?
We like it too. And every time I meet a guy and he doesn't like beer, I'm like, okay, that's weird, but that's fine. We're not gonna date or anything, so it doesn't matter if you don't like beer. Canadians say A, we do. We're not constantly saying
Canada
A. This guy's like trying to prove it wrong. He's like, A is used relatively in frequency in Canadian English. We do say A, but not like all the time. I would say I say it like 5 times a day, so to me that's like a lot. Canadians say a boot, I say about. Most Canadians say a boat rather than a boot. I don't know a boat that. I say about. It's like almost like a silent T, it's like about. I don't know about that. That's what I say. Canadians make love in canoes. Haven't tried it, but I guess I will this summer. All Canadians speak French. Yeah, it's like mandatory, but I forgot because I haven't been in school for a while. But I took French until like grade 11. Canadian.
Oh, so in Canada, in Canadian school, do you learn French up to a certain year, a certain grade, and then you can either stop it or continue it? It's kind of like here in the UK. I did French until I think it was year 9, so I was about 12, 13, and then I chose my options. They call them options here. Anyway.
Canadians are taxed to death. I mean, kinda worth though. All Canadians live in the wilderness. No. I live in Toronto and I don't live in the wilderness, but when I lived in Vancouver, I lived in a suburb called Burnaby for a while, and I lived like on a mountain. So I did live in the wilderness. But in Alberta, I didn't. Actually, unless you would consider prairies the wilderness, but I don't. Canadians are all about plaid. Not anymore. Canada's big, okay? Everybody's like assuming that it's all the same all around, but it is big. Canada is free from gun violence. There's not as much. Canadian police get around on horseback. Some of them do, and it's hilarious, and we don't want to put a stop to it. All Canadians know one another. I hate when I'm like, oh, I live in Canada, and a guy's like, oh, nice, do you know like Susie Carter? I'm like, no, it's pretty big up here, big country. Canada uses monopoly money as its currency. Don't tell anyone that. I walk around telling people that I'm rich so they can't find out that I use monopoly money as currency. It's like currently working right now. It's like the biggest scam in history. Wait a second, you can only get Kinder Surprises in Canada? How did Kinder Surprises get banned in the States for kids choking on them? Like, are Canadian kids like smarter? Why are they still out here? And why has nobody ever choked on one?
Kinder Surprises are amazing, by the way. If any Americans watching this, or any country where they're banned, you got to get one. Whatever it takes.
This is like a Canadian thing, then why does it have a different language? Überraschung. I don't know. All I know is that whenever I got these as a kid, like I used to just eat the chocolate and throw away the toy. When they made just the Kinder chocolate, I was like, yes, yes.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Canada shares a ton of similarities with the UK. Obviously, there's the Commonwealth thing, which definitely had an influence, but you know, Canada's been an independent country now for a long time, and it's obviously developed its own culture and stuff. But yeah, it's fun to see the similarities there. I do wonder though, like, is it like if I was to visit, you know, for 2 weeks, I wouldn't be able to spend time in every city. Like, how far, like if you had 2 weeks to spend in Canada, like how would you, and you wanted to see as much of the country as possible, how would you design that trip? You know, if you wanted to do, you know, Vancouver, Toronto, Quebec, you know, Calgary, is it even possible? Because it's so huge. Like, you'd have to probably fly to the different places, wouldn't you? You know, and how much would I need? Like let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.